Welcome back to Super Tuesday Recap Mailbag. These are your hosts, Chris and Deepom here, and like we do every month, and we've been doing this. And when did we start the mailbags? This was your idea too.
February, maybe.
Yeah, I want to make sure everybody knows this was your idea. Your idea to do mailbags.
It was my idea, but I honestly think. Okay, so let's not get too deep into conspiracy theory, but Inception's a movie, yeah, but it's also like a blueprint. I'm not saying you incepted me to do this, but yeah, I'm blaming you.
God damn, everything comes back to my fault. So, but okay, whatever. All right, but anyway. But at the end of every month, Deepom and I, we take listener emails and we read them. We talk about comics, comic book movies, or nerd movies, TV shows we're reviewing, things like that. So then we go through some topics, and then we talk about the pull list, our pull list for the month for comics. So let's jump right into it. So first things first, let's get into the first question. We have a question from Felix. Hey guys, Felix here, longtime listener and fan of all the podcasts. I just want to first of all thank you guys for always offering a fresh perspective on things, introducing me to a lot of podcasters. Also now follow religiously. Shout out to Rod and Karen. I'm a big comic book guy now, thanks to a lot of stuff I heard you recommend from an old show from around 2014. Wow. When I first started listening to Saga and Miss Marvel, which I instantly bought digitally, I was one of those people who just went to my local comic book shops only to buy Riri Williams' Iron Man run at first, but now read 5 ongoings at least that I pick up from my shop. I also didn't have a subscription set up in my shop, my local store, for the longest time until the Black Panther movie came out, and they never had any issues on the rack anymore because they always sell out now. Now to my actual question, apology for the long setup. It's fine. Everybody always writes long emails. This is what happens, and we're fine with it. What's the worst interaction you've had with comic book store people? I ask this because I've had several bad interactions and been in the room looking for a trade while the store clerk said some sideways shit about non-white people in general. I've managed to avoid being around these clerks now that I know when the non-trash ones work. So I just go when the non-trash ones work. Have interactions like this ever put you off going to certain stores full stop? I only go now because I like having physical and digital because my sister can join in for the fun when I send her the digital codes for Marvel stuff. So I'll go first. I've never I first of all, you are not alone. I know that a lot of people have gotten these kind of had these kind of interactions. I can say that I've been privileged in not having a truly bad interaction with comic people in a store, a comic store workers. My worst interaction was one time when I went to a comic book store that's no longer around right now, which their customer service maybe is the reason why. I was back home. I was went to college in Baltimore. My home for me was Waldorf, Maryland. Went by and was driving by and I saw there was a comic book store. So I was like, hey, you know what? Haven't been to a comic store in a while. Let me stop in there. I walked in the store. Store is completely empty. 2 white guys in the store. They were talking to each other. Working. I walked in, walked around, looking at things. Nobody said a goddamn word to me. So they barely even looked up from whatever they were doing. They were looking at something, and it wasn't like they were It wasn't like there was a one store clerk and like another, like a customer. Oh, they both worked at the store. They just had their own little world. Didn't pay any goddamn attention to me. So I walked around, didn't get, hey, can I help you with anything? Hey, let us know if you need any help finding anything. Didn't get acknowledged at all. So I just walked out and never went back in. And that's probably my worst experience. And it's one that's not the first time that's happened where I walk in a store and just never get acknowledged at all. But again, I think that's probably out of bad experience. That's probably the best case scenario with a bad experience like that. What about you, Deepom?
Well, first of all, never apologize for long emails. We sit up here and talk for hours. You have the right to a long email.
We are going into, I think, our second hour right now. We've already done an hour for 2 reviews. So yes, never apologize.
We're going to we're about 90 minutes of recording right now. Secondly, I know what happens to people. I am an antisocial weirdo, so the situation you described sounds like my perfect comic book store experience.
True.
I'm not here to be spoken to. It's like, I don't know if you've seen if you watch Parks and Rec, there's a meme with Ron Swanson where he says, hey, welcome to Home Depot. How can I help? He says, I know more than you. Leave me alone. That's how I feel going to a comic shop. Like, don't talk to me. Don't offer me things.
Well, you know what though? That's how I am with like Best Buy and like you said, Home Depot, things like that. Like I get so annoyed. It's like I know more than you. Do not try to sell me.
Do not approach me.
Do not.
Things I'm here for. I know why I'm here, sir.
Do not. Don't you fucking dare talk to me.
Don't store your comic books in alphabetical order. They don't have a problem. But seeing as how it appears you follow the same convention of every comic book store ever, there's no like I walk in comic book stores with headphones on. Like I'm not here to discuss things with you.
Right.
It's not the most welcoming thing, but I'm not that shopper.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, a bad experience would be something like all of my shit recommending comics to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably the worst person to ask about this.
Yeah, I mean, but what I do want to do though is because I don't know where you're located at, but if you join the MTR Network Facebook group, if you share this experience there, I'm pretty sure there's probably somebody in that group that might be near you, and they can give you recommendations so that because like one thing that I like that I mean it's nice that there are non like trash people at that shop so you can go there, but you shouldn't have to curate when you go to a shop because you want to avoid the trash people that work there. Shannon's always telling me that when I come out to visit her that she's going to take me to her shop, and I keep telling her I'm anti-social, so it doesn't really matter. But like, she has a good shop. There's a lot of people out there who love their comic book shops, and their comic book shops are very welcoming all the time, not just when the one non-trash person is working. So yeah, if you join the group and bring that up, I'm pretty sure some people can give you some recommendations of other comic book shops that, or maybe again, you can't always do this, but when you can visit somewhere else and visit a non-trash comic book shop where you're welcomed and you feel included. So that sucks. We all want to be in here. We don't want to. Nobody wants to be somewhere where they don't feel welcome. So I feel you on that one. So yeah, thank you for the email. Next email. Imani writes, so what does D-Palm get? When does D-Palm get to loudly boast that he told you first, Gotham or Titans? Which does D-Palm get to loudly boast that he told you first on, Gotham or Titans? On the one hand, Chris got suckered into forgetting to cancel the free trial and stuck watching whatever the hell Titans was supposed to be. But then we saw the preview for of Bane, and holy shit, D-Palm called this 5 years ago. How do you make Joel Schumacher's version look better? Now, I wouldn't go that far.
I would. I'm going to stop you here. First of all, the bow comes first with Gotham, because when Gotham was announced, I took one look and said, absolutely not. Yeah, no. I took one peek and said, there's no good way in God's green earth that I'll be involved. Hard pass, thanks. Titan, I haven't watched yet, but I'm going to watch. And I'm going into it trying to be as fresh as possible. Just say, like, look, it's a different mythos than I would do. It's probably not aimed at me, but let me watch and see how I feel about it. I'm probably gonna watch it this week, or maybe this week. I've been very busy, but yeah, I think that nothing I've seen from Titans or even reviews of people who I trust who didn't like it make me think, oh, this is a Gotham.
No, it's not. Like, here's the thing, because I'll do this now. We were gonna bring up Titans later on. I'm probably out of Titans. And the other thing too is like D-Palm doesn't get to claim Titans because we were both kind of like it looks okay, and then the trailer from San Diego.
We were in until the trailer.
Yeah, we were in. We were both in on Titans until the trailer, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And like, I'm probably gonna be out of the Titans after this fourth episode, just because $7.99 is not worth it for DC Universe for me. Period. It just isn't. Like, the comic stuff is not there. They were supposed to be adding more comic stuff, and I looked, and it was like I looked again, and it was like the Rebirth titles have one issue. I think Action Comics, Action Comics has over 1,000 issues. It's like 17. Like, it's not worth it, comic wise. I've watched all those, or I own most of the good animated DC stuff already. So do I really need it to pay $7.99 to get access to all that stuff? No.
You didn't forget about Watch Young Justice, Chris.
Well, no. You're right. Young Justice but it's not out yet. So
1 and 2 are on there, aren't they?
Huh?
Seasons 1 and 2 are on there, aren't they?
They were on Netflix. Now I know they probably pulled them, but I can get them. I'll just go and buy that. Like, here's the thing: it's like for some of the stuff, I'll just go buy it. I'll go buy the stuff I need versus paying $7.99 a month. I'm paying $8 a month. How much is? Let me look right now. How much is Young Justice on Amazon? You know, it's like I'll just go out and pay that fee for it, and then when season 3 comes out, I'll get a free trial when it's done when it's all out, and be done. Like, why should I pay $7.99 a month for something like that? It just doesn't make any sense. And let me see. You can buy the complete first season of Young Justice for $24.99. And then I can own it. I have it there. And I don't need to see any other shit. Titans, like I said, I've been out on Titans, and this will be something that we kind of get into later on when we talk about some DC stuff. And again, I hate being we're gonna rag on DC stuff, but they're kind of making it easy.
None of us came here with the idea of, ooh, let's bag on DC.
No.
I can tell you right now that the best book I read this week was a DC book, and I'm a DC fan, but I also recognize that some people in DC don't give a shit about me or those characters, and so it's hard for me to take them seriously when they don't take it seriously themselves.
Here's the funny thing.
It's not coming, what you're going to hear from me tonight is not coming from a place of spite. It comes from a place of quiet resignation that they just don't give a shit.
So here's the thing about Titans. Like, I actually think that now, after waiting and then actually seeing people's reactions to it, I think if you come in with the idea of like, this is not what I'm expecting, this is not my Titans, and you've gotten them, you probably will enjoy it a little bit more than I did. And I also think that binging probably all 4 episodes, by the time you watch it, it'll be 4 episodes will be out. Binging really all 4 episodes will probably, huh?
That's really what I was doing here. I was just holding back until at least 4.
Well, I think that's a smarter way to watch it, because one, I don't think this is a good show to do week by week, because they didn't pace episodes out well and pace the story out well enough for me to wait to get the next piece. It needs to be binged, but they don't have anything else to come out on streaming, which is, we'll talk about this when we talk about Disney later on. Guys, if you're going to make your own streaming service, I'm not saying that you can't nickel and dime us, because obviously you're going to and you will, but you better have something fucking on there already. CBS All Access learned this the hard way when they had, Star Trek Discovery, and then there was literally nothing else really coming on the show. So everybody, I'm like, I'm going to cancel. Why do I need CBS All Access? I'll wait until Star Trek Discovery comes back, then I'll get my subscription back, watch for the 3-4 months, then cancel again. Rinse, wash, repeat. You need to come out with a suite of something already there. DC Universe launched with it didn't even launch with Titans. Let's keep it real. It didn't launch with Titans. It launched with, a small collection of comic books, relatively small collection of comic books when you think of the breadth of DC Comics, and a bunch of old movies and old animated stuff that all of us have already seen already. Do you really need to watch, the old seasons of the 70s Wonder Woman? Do you want to pay $7.99 for that?
I do not.
Do you want to pay $7.99 to watch, the Flashpoint movie? You probably own it already.
I would not. No.
You probably already own it. So what are you paying $7.99 for? To get a week by week episodes of Titans, which, and this goes into the biggest problem I have with Titans is, there is a good show there. I'm harsh on Titans, but I'm harsh on Titans because there actually is a good show there. If they weren't so, I don't know what it is. And I saw another article about something with DC about them, the director for Birds of Prey confirmed that it's going to be R-rated. I'm like, you guys are chasing after, these, you're chasing after the squirrel. Why are you trying so hard to make this an edgy show? An edgy show that is actually killing your story. If you spent half a second on actually doing the fight choreography that a show like Arrow or Legend of Tomorrow does, you'd have awesome fight scenes. Instead, you do shitty fight choreography and you do it really brutal. So you show Robin stabbing somebody, in the leg with a knife, and that's brutal. They show you it's real and it's edgy, and it's like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like when you see somebody. You remember when you were in like college, and you would go to you went to clubs, right? You don't do it now because you don't want to be that guy. But you remember that guy when you would go to a party and it'd be a bunch of young guys, young people, and there's that one person who was like late 30s who was trying so hard to look like he belonged, but you're like, you don't belong here. You're trying too hard. What are you doing? This is weird. This is awkward. That's Titans to me. There's a good show there, and if they stuck with the story and better writing, which I can get with, I can actually overlook bad writing in a first season because we've all been there before, you know? And it's not like horrible writing. It's just like, it's clunky, not consistent. But what I can't get by is the idea that you're trying so hard to be edgy. Like, I put this on Twitter. I was like, they're trying so hard to be edgy because, what's his name? The guy who plays Hank, Hawk on the show, said something about how people like Titans because, you know, unlike the Infinity War, which I didn't see, there are real stakes here. And I'm like, how stupid do you have to be? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. One of the best displays for Halloween I saw was, I don't know if you saw this one. You probably did because it was going around Twitter. It's the one somebody put like Iron Man's mask on a pumpkin, and laying on him was like half of it.
Shit in the world. Look, you savages!
Yeah, and it was
Halloween
like
should not allow blackface or this shit.
Yeah, it was like a straw man, Spider-Man, but like the bottom part was like leaves to show him like
it's fucked up.
It was fucked up, right? But that whole I don't feel good, Mr. Stark thing has been a whole thing. Like, not just that Thanos killed half the Marvel universe, but it's like that you actually got real moments. You saw people, the characters you cared about, you die, and like it was real. So this idea that, you know, there were no stakes in Infinity War, motherfucker, you're stupid. You didn't see the movie. You don't make shit up. But take the Marvel stuff out of it. It's like he's like, you know, Titans is the first show. The show is that the characters are real. I'm like, well, Daredevil season 3 just came out and they did the Born Again storyline, so that's bullshit. But again, take Marvel out of it. Every single Arrowverse show does that and has been doing it for years. Arrow, Flash, Legend of Tomorrow, Supergirl, and Black Lightning. Every single one of them gets to the core of their characters, and you know what? They do it on network TV. So this idea that you need to be dark and edgy and show me that, you know, Hank is so is so beat up and worried and stuff like that, he can't get it up when he's fucking Dawn. I don't need to see that shit to know that your characters are going through some shit. That's stupid. It's fucking stupid. And the show is trying too hard, getting away from the idea that there are actually good elements of the show. But they're trying so hard to show that they're edgy and see we can out dark everybody else. And I'm like, why? Why do you need to do that? This idea that you need to have an R rating? R rating doesn't make you good. R rating doesn't mean you're gritty. R rating doesn't mean that you have higher stakes. That's not what R rating means. That's not what having more blood means. Like, that shit is fucking stupid. I'm just, again, if you like Titans, fine. But everyone who's watching Titans knows it should be better. It should be. And I'm just...
And I think that's where I am with it, too, is just, I said it repeatedly this month, I'm done lowering expectations for DC. I'm done pretending good enough is good. I'm done pretending Wonder Woman was this high water mark when really it was 2/3 of a good movie. I'm done pretending that this Aquaman marketing makes any damn sense. I'm done.
Comes out next month.
Done.
Yeah.
Next month. Where's the Blitz? Where's Jason Momoa all over my television?
Where's the Blitz? Where's the merchandise? Like, we brought this up. Like, they're doing the same thing they did with Wonder Woman marketing with him, which is weird because you would think that they would at least give Jason Momoa. Nope, same thing. I'm sorry, we're not done with. I'm sorry. We actually had the Titans thing on our list of topics to do. So when you mentioned Titans here, I had to go into that little thing there. Like I said, I'm gonna see what episode 4 is, and I'm gonna write my thing, and then I'm canceling my subscription because, again, $7.99 is not worth it. When the show is done, and if people I trust come back and be like, yeah, no, it does get a lot better, then maybe I'll come back and I'll rewatch it. Or, when I go to finally watch Young Justice season 3, maybe then I'll finish the show. But I'm not paying $7.99 for this. I'm not giving them $7.99 a month to give me the crap that they've given me with DC Universe. It's not worth it, guys. How many times can you rewatch the same movie you've already watched for $7.99 a month? Fuck out of here. It's fucking stupid. And I'm really not trying to make these mailbags on. I'm not really trying to bag on DC. Make these bag on DC emails, but they make it so damn hard. Now they're pushing Wonder Woman back to 2020, bruh. They just started filming. They started filming before San Diego. Hold that thought. We'll come back to the Wonder Woman thing later on in the show. And wasn't that supposed to be the alleged Flash movie hypothetical new date? The Flash movie's not happening. Are they opening up time for The Rock to film a pointless cameo as Black Adam? Never Forget My Man was announced by DC before Marvel introduced Chadwick Boseman on stage, laying out Phase 3.
I'm stopping this email right here. When did they announce Rock as Black Adam?
It was years ago. He was
2009, I think.
He was one of the first people. He's one of the first people announced.
This is not. Everyone's like, oh, they announced it. No, he predates Cavill.
Yeah, I want to say it was 2011 or 2009 or 2011. I want to say that was the first
window. It's way earlier than you think.
It really is. It really is, because you know what? It makes sense because people forget. People always think when I'm gonna do this with Deepam, and I'm pretty sure you might get the right answer. What was the first DCEU movie?
Green Lantern.
Thank you. People forget that shit. People will say Man of Steel, but it was actually Green Lantern. That's why Dwayne Johnson was in talks and was technically cast as Black Adam so long ago, because DC had to, and that was the beginning of the end. They literally had to redo their entire plan when Green Lantern flopped back in 2011. Because I believe Man of Steel wasn't supposed to come out in 2013. It came out in 2013. It was supposed to come out, I believe, in 2012. So, that's why The Rock's been there for so long. It's ridiculous. His movie's not coming out. They're not doing a Black Adam movie. That's why I can't, they had a interview with the director, I can't remember her name, who's directing the Birds of Prey movie. She's going to be the first Asian.
Another movie that's not coming out? Great. Cool.
Well, that's the thing. She's going to be the first Asian woman directing a superhero film, big budget superhero film. And I'm like, I want to get excited, but until you actually go into production and you're actually shooting some things.
No, never get excited. What did we say? This is what they do. They announce shit, they win the headline, and then it goes away. How is New Gods coming, Chris? Have you seen Ava DuVernay or The Rock? Both of whom are busy as shit. Clear any time for anything DC related.
Haven't seen anything.
Ava's producing a Prince documentary.
Yeah, I saw that.
That shit doesn't slow down. We've announced this New Gods bullshit. We've announced this Birds of Prey lie, and I'm not going to loudly parrot it on these airwaves. These movies will not happen. Prove me wrong, DC. Prove me wrong, Warner Brothers. Until that moment, shut the fuck up and produce a decent movie.
They really did announce, a New God and all this other stuff. And you know what's coming out before any of that shit? The Joker film.
Which I still cannot believe they're filming.
They cast a young Bruce Wayne.
Oh, let's finish the email. I'll yell about this later. Let's go. Never forget that my man was announced by DC before Marvel introduced Chadwick Boseman on stage laying out Phase 3. He's been in 4 movies before The Rock has even starts filming his first. The Rock, let's be honest, let's take it back. Dwayne Johnson hasn't even been fitted for his tights. Forget filming. He hasn't been fitted for any kind of costume for Black Adam. Okay, I would be very surprised if it was a contract beyond you can use my name to sell your shit.
Meanwhile, we're getting the goddamn Morlocks on The Gifted. Oh, I love The Gifted. Just. And bruh, tell me you're caught up on Thor. Nigga, listen, Jason Aaron's been building up building to this for so long is really the only way we could have gone. Just wait until we get to the pull list. But to answer your question, Nick, of course I'm caught up on Thor.
Look, and we're doing pull lists. I understand that. I thought the story got as big as it could get.
Nigga, listen.
And then Jason Aaron was like, see the end, see that wall? Optical illusion, bitch, there is no wall. This story never ends. And it only gets bigger. And it's going to end the way it always had to. Two brothers.
Mm-hmm.
It always had to end that way. This is the only way it could have possibly ended.
I mean, you could really go, it's almost like, one was life, one was death.
Yo. I can't spoil it.
Wait till we get to the pull list. Wait till we get to the pull list.
I'm gonna spoil this book.
Yeah. When we get to the pull list, guys, you might have to turn the podcast off when we talk about Thor. Sting writes, Chris and D Palm, greetings. Just finished listening to your reviews of Arrow and the Flash and thinking about a possible connection or maybe an Easter egg. Silencer, the most lethal of the longbow hunters, seemed to have technology that resembles technology based on sound manipulation and amplification suit created by Walter Shrieve, aka Shriek, in Batman Beyond. We know Nora West Allen is from the future and has referenced future slang and people from Batman Beyond. But what if her returning to our time has created ripples and changes in the timeline not only in the Flash but throughout the entire CW universe? Maybe the tech that Silencer is using is from her future. I noticed the S logo on the device on her hip, and it looked like his company's logo. The fight between her and Black Siren really reminded me of the fight between Shriek and Terry when he almost killed him because he can't hear during the fight. I also called the other longbow hunters with the shield, great value Captain America. Yes. The fight on the train with Diggle and Argus reminded me of his fight in the Hydra base when Steve went to rescue Bucky in the first Avenger. I was half expecting him to throw the shield, but have it connected to a retractable chain like an old school side scroller game, Rygar. And for the level all things holy, get Argus some better uniforms. I can't take them seriously looking like rent-a-cops. They need to hit up the DEO supply closet. Sorry for the length. I appreciate you all. Again, like D-Palm says, never apologize for the length of the emails. And also, thank you very much for mentioning how terrible those Argus uniforms are. They got Diggle out here looking like top flight security, yo. It's just...
But at this point, occasionally it's like, we're going to find a way to break in, and we're going to need King Shark, Captain Cold, and the Flash. But most of the time, they are basically your replacement like Rent-A-Cops. They came out as this huge threat when they were first introduced, but ever since it's been basically damage control with slightly worse suits. I'm sorry. I don't. They're wearing the appropriate level garb for the threat that they are. Just make all the shirts red. Really send the message.
You know what? Every now and then I'll watch. Cause I love the scene where Captain Boomerang kind of just cutting through them, and then you got Barry coming through for the first time and saving Roy and Oliver. But I love watching that scene because it's just like, Captain Boomerang is cutting down Argus. Like, they really are red shirts. Like, it is bad.
They're redder.
You're right. They are redder than red shirts. It's bad. Like, they're just not good. All right, that's the end of the emails. Again, like I said, if you want to send us an email, try to get into us before the end of the month. You can email us at mailbag@mtrnetwork.net. So, all right, let's jump into some of this stuff that we want to talk about. First thing I wanted to talk about here is Mark Waid, and I'm going to put the link in here so everybody can please support this. Mark Waid is running a legal defense fund on GoFundMe. Does Waid still work for Marvel?
No one works for me. I mean, I think he's got some stuff there, but I don't think he's under an exclusive or anything.
Okay. But anyway, so here's what it reads. It's like, my name is Mark Waid. I'm a New York Times best-selling comic writer. In September of this year, I was sued by one of the perceived leaders of a relentless online harassment movement called ComicsGate, which I and many comic professionals strongly feel is unfairly and unofficially targeting women, people of color, and LGBTQ plus creators working in our industry in an effort to make them feel unwelcomed. You read some perspective of ComicsGate and its harassment techniques in the Washington Post and in verse. I firmly believe this lawsuit is an effort to silence those of us who stood up in public against the bigotry and racism and who continue to defend diverse creators from harassment. If you like, you can learn more about the specific lawsuit at and among other places, the Daily Dot. You can learn about ComicsGate taxes here, and here. So yeah, he's raising money. I think he's at almost $72,000 of $75,000. Basically, he's being sued by Richard Myers from the ComicsGate group, who also has a GoFundMe now, and they've raised as much. He's scamming people too. He's taking their people money. But yeah, I remember this. Basically, Myers is basically trying to say that Mark Waid interfered with his business and told force another publisher to not take on what's it called, a terrible book. Like his book is terrible, actually. Like the artwork is horrendous, and yeah, fuck it, it's bad. So yeah, if you can, please donate a couple dollars to Mark Waid's defense, because it's bad. So
a lot of people are losing a lot fighting these assholes.
They are.
And Mark Waid's lawsuit, the lawsuit, I believe, is meritless.
It is.
And he's writing. You're right. He is currently writing Doctor Strange over at Marvel. He's written a lot of runs you all love and care about. Toss a few shekels his way, man, because this is fucking ridiculous. That Richard Spencer or whoever the guy's name is, they're all the same to me.
Mm-hmm.
That he's been able to finagle this and try to make himself look legitimate. He's a joke. He's always been a joke. And it's like Gail Simone said about them on Twitter. It's not even that their ideas are odious, which they are. It's that the work that they produce is comically bad, like laughably, horribly bad.
Yeah, Gail Simone.
From every perspective.
Yeah. Basically what it was is I think on in May Waid basically said, because it involves Antarctic Press, so I have a call with Antarctic Press until I hear back. I'm hesitantly willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that they don't really understand who and what they're getting into business with. If I do hear back, I'll report in. Curious to how they feel about publishing creators whose marketing strategy is to allegedly encourage their fans to threaten employees of stores and harass and one-star review Bob stores that don't order their product. So yeah, Mark Waid didn't force anybody. He basically just informed Antarctic Press about what Richard Myers is and represents. Because the
Antarctic Press has released statements publicly and their internal communications showing that nothing happened because Mark Waid said anything.
Right.
So this is all, it's a waste of everyone's time. It's a way for him to extend his 15 minutes of racist fame, and that's all it is to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but it kind of goes to something else we see. I think this also happened this month. Who was it? Was it Chuck Weigel?
Yeah, got kicked off
a Star Wars book. Yeah, because they didn't like the way he responded to people. He didn't really like the way he responded to ComicsGate people on Twitter. But it's like
who are harassing him.
Right. It's like, and at some point, I do hope Marvel reverses that, because it's bullshit. Apparently there's one particular editor, and it's bullshit because you're basically tying people's hands. You're allowing the people that harass them to say and do whatever they want and get away with it. And as soon as they get punched back by somebody, they scream and say, this person's unprofessional, this and that, and they should do better, blah, 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 blah. But they don't hold themselves to the standard. They honestly, it's literally the tactics that you see Republicans use. And yeah, it's I can do it to you as much as I want, but as soon as you fight back, I scream bloody murder. It's the tactic you see of anybody who's a piece of shit. You see Republicans do it. Police do it all the time. Like, police officers can come in, bust into your home, slap you around. The minute you lay a finger to defend yourself, they can shoot you dead and claim they fear for their life. That's what this is, and it's bullshit. And please support anybody who's fighting against this kind of bullshit. So if you can throw, a couple dollars towards Mark Waid, please do that. If you can throw some to any of the other creators out here who have been affected by this, because these are two white men. There are a shit ton of marginalized people, trans people, people in the LGBTQ community, black women. Women of color who have been just as equally as affected, if not by more, by these assholes. So when you find somebody you can support financially, who has been affected by these assholes, please support them. hold on. Where's my notes? All right, next email. I mean, not email. Next topic. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the state of Marvel TV and streaming. We had Daredevil season 3 came out, and we're gonna do our spoiler review for that. I forgot. Maybe we'll do that sometime next weekend as well, or we'll figure out sometime we're gonna do that. But I think either right before it came out or right after it came out, it was announced that I know Iron Fist got canceled before, and then Luke Cage did as well. So, and it doesn't look like anything's going to happen to Daredevil, but apparently there is evidence to show that it also had a significant lowering in viewership. So in that respect, when it comes to Netflix, I don't think it has anything to do with Disney. Like, I think that Disney streaming, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, if these things get dropped by Netflix, Disney streaming could pick them up. I don't think this is a directive coming from Disney that this stuff is getting dropped. I honestly think it's a strategic move from Netflix going, the future of us holding on to some of these properties is never going to be indefinite. Eventually, these other places are going to take their content to their own streaming platforms. Everybody's creating their own streaming platforms. So us, we can't continually rely on things like Daredevil and other people's IP. It's just not going to happen.
The branded original content. You got to remember that also, I think it's Ant-Man and the Wasp will be the last Marvel movie to come to Netflix streaming.
Right.
So that contract's up. I think you're right. I think Netflix is hedging their bets here. If they're smart to, I guarantee Daredevil and Jessica Jones news is coming probably over the holidays.
Yeah.
But what I think will happen over there is you could get all four relaunched as one miniseries, a farewell miniseries, Heroes for Hire, where they take on Luke Cage because he's set himself up to be the newest big bad in Harlem.
Yeah. Like I said, I think that's just the way they're going. Like I think these are decisions by Netflix because people are like, oh well, and I don't think it's about the quality because they're streaming. People because here's the thing, people are going to be like, well, I heard it got canceled because it was terrible, but in order for you to say it was terrible, you had to watch it. So
exactly. And again, when people say, oh, their numbers are down, if you start believing Netflix's numbers now, they don't share them.
Right. So
when they say they're convenient. So without transparency, I can't believe that is a regional cause. Maybe they were dips. I doubt it was as big as they said because I'll tell you this right now. Daredevil season 3 is tremendous. Iron Fist season 2 was a much bigger step in the right direction from season 1. And Luke Cage season 2 happened. And it was coming up with the good strong word of mouth of season 1. Well, so, and Netflix usually, when they do these kind of cancellations, it's always strategic. And I don't believe that they're doing it just because, like you said, Marvel, just because numbers are down. They stick behind things when numbers are down because they believe in their products. This is something where they're taking a long view. Marvel's not a long-term partner. Now they're building their own. And it's be wrong to invest. And I can't disagree with any of that.
Right. I think it's a smart business move from both respects. Also the idea of like this whole thing that, and I think they started getting some harder numbers, but again, like you said, most of those hard viewership numbers come from Netflix themselves. Or what you saw some other sites doing was they weren't using viewership numbers; they were using reach and engagement and talk on social media. Which I'm like, that's a terrible way to tell if anybody's watching a show. Because I know I watched both shows. Did not tweet about them that much, so that's not a good way of telling you how much something got watched. But I will say this, like to kind of go with the idea of this being a Netflix decision, not a Disney or anything else decision. They also didn't promote them like they did before. Like the reason why Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and I would even say Daredevil, the reason why all three of those had lower numbers is because they weren't like when Netflix got those shows, they were the pinnacle of that. It's like we got Marvel stuff. We're about to put Marvel stuff on Netflix. Now it's like we're getting Daredevil season 3, but we have all this other shit going on too. Which, by the way, we just dropped 10 episodes of The Haunting of Hill House, which is an amazing series. You should watch that too. It's like it's not the same. It's not. They don't need it. Netflix doesn't need than Marvel
Marvel
shows like they used to, and so they don't promote it like they used to. And here's the thing: if you don't promote it, people are going to watch it when they watch it. So here's the thing: so you drop, you know, the third season of Daredevil, and it's great. People are going to watch it, but like it's on Netflix. I can watch it whenever I want to.
Yo, also, like you said, the promo. My mom loves this shit. She loves Daredevil. She found out Daredevil was out. I was talking about it. She's like, "Wait, when did it come out?" I was like, "Last Friday." She's like, "Oh my!" She eats this stuff up. And if she didn't know, that means it tells me the reach wasn't where it needed to be, because you and I know, because we're nerds and all that kind of stuff. But people who are, by the way, the most casual viewers, the most of your viewership, didn't know it came out.
Well, remember what they did with Luke Cage and Iron Fist this season? It was like, oh yeah, we're doing Luke Cage season 2, comes out 2 weeks from now. Wait, what? Wait, when are you going to promote it? When are you going to do it?
And by the way, them dumping everything before 2019 is weird too, because first they said that we no more than 2 a season. We got all 4 this 2018.
Come on, guys. Yeah, come on, guys. Like, it's, to me,
got all 4 in 2018.
Right.
Things are changing.
Yeah, I think this, like you said, I think this is not, you know, I don't think it's, oh, the numbers were down and this is this and that. I don't think it was any of that. I think it was just that, you know, Netflix has made the decision. It's like, you know, we're moving, and you're seeing this with Netflix. We're moving more towards our own original content, which they can do. Which again, when we talked about this with launching Titans, and we talked about this with CBS All Access, is the smart play. Because at some point, all these other places are going to try to make their own streaming. So now you're competing against other people having their own original content. And here's the other thing too. If, you know, so let's go into the second part of this, which is the Disney, the stuff that Disney's announcing for their Disney streaming things. First of all, Disney's already coming in with Marvel stuff. They're coming in with Star Wars stuff. They're coming in with their own original, like, they're coming in with a shit ton of stuff. So when people tell me I'm not going to buy the Disney streaming, it's like, you're fucking lying.
Let them lie. Like, those people feel comfortable lying these days. Just let them lie.
But if you're Netflix and you're like, okay, we have Marvel stuff, we have Jessica Jones, we have Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and we have Daredevil, you know, and Punisher. Let's throw all those in there, right? And then you see that Disney's coming up with their own streaming service, and they're having Marvel content in there, and just announced today that they're coming in with a limited series for Winter Soldier and basically a buddy cop show of Winter Soldier and Falcon, maybe Loki, and maybe Scarlet Witch. And oh, by the way, we're bringing in the characters, the actual actors and actresses who play those characters in the MCU. Oh yeah, and by the way, it's under Kevin Feige. You left me with the B team? Like, I can't compete against that. Nobody's going to want to watch my Marvel stuff. Not I'm going to say nobody, but like, I'm now competing against things that are going to directly tie into the MCU, which is fucking huge. Why would I want to keep trying to keep that on when I can drop those shows and bring in my own original stuff? It just, again, to me, it's a smart business decision. It's a smart business decision on Netflix's part. And then you tell Marvel, it's like, hey, if you want to keep these shows going, you have your own platform. You can do it. Take your stuff back. Continue the stuff on your own platform, which I think there is a good chance that it could happen. I think it's a good chance that they could bring it over, and maybe not having a full season of an Iron Fist or a full season of Luke Cage, but there's a way you can, you know, maybe you do a limited series of, you know, Iron Fist and Power Man and Iron Fist for, I don't know, 5 episodes or whatever. Like, I don't know. There's so many things they can do, and I think this is going down the road for that. So.
And that's what Marvel does. You got to remember, people say, "Oh, those shows are expensive." Marvel footed a lot of the bill when they were at Netflix.
Yeah,
Marvel's more afraid to invest in something if they know it's going to pay off down the road. And I think that building the way they announced the cancellations lets me know that because it's all like, and then there's always something coming. Marvel doesn't say keep your eyes peeled if there's nothing coming.
Well, and that's the other thing too. Like, when the announcements happened, there was also, like, even in the reports, they were like, but there's serious consideration that they're going to be bringing them over to they're in serious talks to bring them over to Disney. And like you said, a lot of these shows are saying, like, hey, our story isn't ended. Don't worry, their characters can still be around.
Everyone's upbeat for everyone losing their jobs.
Right. So, like, I'm not worried about that. Like, if this is just shuffling from Netflix over to the Disney streaming service, then yeah, I guess it got canceled, but it's just, you know, and again, it's not like it's unheard of. You know, we're gonna get, you know, for the 4th season of the Expanse, because this Sci-Fi channel canceled the Expanse. and they're going to move it over to Amazon. So this is like this is the new normal we're in now, where it used to be that people were hoping that when their show got canceled that Netflix would revive it. Now it's going to be the reverse of, hey, Netflix canceled our show, now somebody else's streaming service is going to pick it up. Like that's kind of the, if you will, the free market of TV now. So I'm fine with that, and I think it's fine. Like I think we're going to be good, and like I said, I'm all in for. And the other thing too is, unlike DC Universe, they've come out and said that the Disney streaming service is going to be priced competitively or much lower than Netflix, which you have my attention. Like all that content you're bringing me in versus giving me a bunch of old shit that I've already, like literally DC Universe is basically fucking what Netflix used to be like 15 years ago. Like what the fuck are you doing? Is Netflix even 15 years old? 10 years ago.
It's a delivered DVD option too.
Right. You know what it is? No, I know what it is. Not the DVD option. You can get a physical copy of a comic book when you read.
Right.
Do you want to read this now on your tablet, or do you want me to send you a physical copy of it? It'll be there in 2 to 3 business days. Ridiculous. All right, so we already talked about Titans and DC Universe. I ain't got nothing else to say about that. But we'll go into the next thing. We do have some more DC stuff. Wonder Woman 1984 was delayed. Do you have any opinions on that? It's good or bad?
Y'all thought you was special because you liked Wonder Woman, and that the date they gave you for Wonder Woman 2 was a concrete date. You thought you were special because you liked it. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're not special.
Hope is a lie.
You're just a DC movie. And that means your date is a suggestion. And that date's going to move again. You know why? Because I bet they don't open Gal Gadot against herself in a Fast movie that's coming out like 2 weeks prior.
No.
Yes, nigga. This date's not going to... Welcome to the X-Men Phoenix portion of the DC scheduling.
Well, here's the thing. I definitely so my belief is this, and I'm not going with the Grace Randolph, they're going to put her as Flashpoint. That's not what is happening. I don't believe that they delayed Wonder Woman because there are some issues with the movie. I think they delayed Wonder Woman because I hate to say this, I really feel like they're still trying to figure out what they're doing going forward. Because here's the thing. Everything they've announced recently that they've actually shown some kind of movement on working feels completely disconnected from the DCEU, right? So they have this Joker film that, I want to say it's not coming out, but they literally have shot scenes for it and are casting, and it's actually in production. So it's
keeping they're like peeing on extras. Have you seen this shit?
Yeah, they
like what the like. Oh man.
Well, in order to get a good movie,
man.
Well, in order to be a DC movie, you have to be dark and gritty, and you have to be method actors. So peeing on your extras is just what you got to do. So, but like even when you look at Shazam, like Shazam doesn't feel like it can almost be it's probably is in the DCEU, but it kind of feels like it could actually kind of not be in the DCEU. So I feel like the delay of Wonder Woman 1984 is, I wouldn't be shocked if there is some kind of, not a Flashpoint thing, but if there is some kind of rebooting with Wonder Woman 1984, which is something we kind of mentioned before, which is they can kind of do, right? Because both Wonder Woman movies take place before Man of Steel, before the birth of what we know as the DCEU. So if you were going to redo, a connected universe set of movies, you could do it with Wonder Woman if you pretend like those other 3 movies technically, with Justice League, BVS, and Man of Steel didn't happen, and you can kind of do that because you're in the past. So, yeah, I think that's the real reason for the delay. I think they're still trying to figure out how they're moving forward with their connected universe piece of the puzzle, because they haven't figured it out. Which then doesn't bode well for Aquaman. Which is something we've said before, which is that leaves Aquaman as the odd man out, because it's still a film that was kind of started production under the Zack Snyder banner. And if 2019 is a year of rebirth, if you will, for DC live action films, what are they doing? The other thing too is, if the Joker film is R-rated, this Birds of Prey movie, if it happens, is R-rated. Seems like you're making a lot of R-rated movies there, DC. Are they completely abandoning the idea of doing PG-13 movies to go an R-rated, R-rated thing? Because
everyone knows that cultivating young fans is the fastest way to not make money for generations. You idiot, Chris. It's never worked for Star Wars or Marvel ever.
Yeah, it's right. It's not why Infinity War made $2 billion. Right? You just no stakes, no stakes, and too much laughter.
Why is everyone smiling? Kill them all.
Oh God! Like I don't know. It makes me upset, and I know we, like you said, just like we said before in the emails, it sounds like we're ragging on DC, just to rag on DC, but it's not. It's because we care about the characters. Like I get angry at what I see with Titans because it should be better, and the characters deserve better. And the crazy thing is, when I look at the DC shows we review every fucking week, like we review Legend of Tomorrow, The Flash, and Arrow. Just those three. Like that doesn't even count what Shannon and the Doctor do with Black Lightning and Supergirl. Just me and D Palm review those three shows. That is 66, at least 66 episodes every year. 66 episodes. We don't do that because we hate DC. So clearly we love DC and we love these fucking characters. And it makes me mad that I can watch 66 episodes of these things and watch them for the most part. Yes, they have issues here. Like, we had issues with the last season of Flash, but we were right there for season 5, weren't we? And aren't we? And we're loving it.
If they ever tighten up the fight scenes in Black Lightning, I'd really appreciate it. I have nowhere else to talk about Black Lightning, so I figured I'd say that right now.
No. But it's like, that's it. Why can't you just do that? Why are you trying so hard to find your voice in a live action movie when you're doing it week after week on TV? And I'm not saying bring those actors into the live action. I don't know. I get you. That's a logistical nightmare. Can't do that. But take that tone. Why can't you do that? What's going on? We got an idea that we don't know when the Flash movie is coming out now. There might be every year. I feel like every few months we're gonna get news on Matt Reeves' Batman movie soon. Okay. Is Henry Cavill out? I'm assuming so because he's in that terrible fucking wig for the Witcher movie. Which I'm sorry, folks. They put that out there like it looked good. It did not look good. He looks like fucking.
Isn't it a series, not a movie?
I'm sorry, it's a series. Whatever it is, he looks like Superman in Raiden's wig from that early the Mortal Kombat movie. Like it does not look. It did not look good. It didn't. It didn't. I know some people don't care because it's Henry Cavill, but it didn't look good. But he's doing that. He's doing a series. He's off being happy. He's not coming back as Superman. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on with Ben Affleck. So it's like, what are we doing here, guys? What are we doing? For characters that have been around since the 30s, there's no reason why we should be going through this mess right now. What are we doing? What are we doing?
They're better.
The characters deserve better. The audiences deserve better. The actors who are making these movies deserve better. Because remember, like one thing we kind of skip over with this is they cast people and then don't tell. Like I said, I think we did this the last mailbag. Ray Fisher was asked, when's coming on with the Cyborg movie. They don't tell me anything. I don't know. I don't know if I should go on and are they going to need me for? Am I in the Flash movie? Am I getting my own solo movie? I don't know anything. The Rock's out here doing 50,000 different movies. By the time The Rock is going to be Black Adam, he's just going to be one big muscle because he's not stopping working out. I don't know what he's doing. He's just going to be, we're just going to have one big muscle, and it's just like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Him, like at this point, when he was announced, some people were like, "Oh wow, The Rock is Black Adam." I can see that. I mean, we talked about something doing. Now it's like The Rock is Black Adam. No, this is a terrible idea.
Gotta slim down.
This,
what do you mean he has powers? Look at him. He doesn't need any fucking powers.
right.
He's already a superhuman.
Like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna?
Yo, if Zach Levi's gonna be Captain Marvel, he can't be Black Adam.
No
way, no how.
no.
I'm sorry. That's an unbelievable comment. Like, well, how am I supposed to believe that Zach Levi's going to beat up the fucking Rock?
Oh, you know what you got to do, right? You got to do the reverse Chris Evans in First Avenger. You got to digitally remove muscles from the Rock, yo. you got to demuscle the Rock. And you know what? I don't trust the DC people to do that. If they hire whoever does the de-aging process for Marvel, I might watch that movie.
DC can't afford them.
Yeah, no, not at all. So, but it doesn't stop there. With it, like again, it's just bad ideas. So remember, right after Amazing Spider-Man 2, Sony was talking about throwing ideas out there to see what stuck to the wall. And at one point, there was like, we could do an Aunt May movie, right? And everybody was like, what the fuck's wrong with you? You're fucking stupid. That's a stupid idea. And, despite, making Venom has made $500 million, which fuck you guys for going to see this terrible ass fucking movie. To give credit to Sony, they still have not come back with that Aunt May movie, because even they realize that even though everything they're doing is stupid movie-wise and is not going to lead to good movies, even they know they can't do an Aunt May movie. WB and DC, on the other hand, though, saw that idea and was like, you know what? Sony was onto something. What if, hear me out, what if we made an Alfred Pennyworth movie, TV show, before he was a butler and working for the Waynes? What are we doing?
Why are y'all so mean to DC? What'd they do to you? Fuck you, this.
They're making an Alfred movie. An Alfred prequel movie. I mean, not movie. I'm sorry. TV show. Jack Bannon will play Alfred. To be a 10-part series called Pennyworth. Why are we doing this? Who is this for? Who's going to watch this bullshit?
All those Alfred enthusiasts, Chris.
I hate everyone involved in this. Like, I don't understand. Like, why are we making this? Why are we making this difficult? Why are we making this difficult? Hey. Maybe you guys just, you guys seem like you guys just want to do Batman. Hey, just do a Batman TV show. No. We're gonna do Green Arrow, but we're gonna make him like Batman. Okay. Hey, let's just do a Batman show. No, we're not gonna do Batman. We're gonna bring in Batwoman. Okay, I mean, yeah, you know what? I'm fine with doing Batwoman, but if you do Batwoman, shouldn't you bring in Batman? All right. Oh, I see you guys are doing Titans. You're gonna have Bruce Wayne on there. You're gonna have Batman there. It's like, maybe not. Okay. All right, guys. No, we're messing up. We're really gonna do it this time. We're gonna finally give you guys what you want. Batman. Kind of. We're gonna give it Gotham. We're going to call it Gotham. We're never going to have Batman there. We'll have a little young Bruce Wayne. We'll have him coming up there and basically be focusing on Jim Gordon. Like, before Bruce is Batman. Like, how old is Bruce? Like 13.
Whenever you're done with the story, I'm ready to move on. I have nothing more to say.
I just... And now we're down to Alfred. Okay. Last story before we get out of here, and just something I wanted to reiterate because I wrote an article about this, and I saw clips of it at New York Comic Con. Dark Phoenix is going to be terrible, guys. I mean, we already knew that, but it's going to be terrible.
If it comes out.
Yeah, you're right. If it comes out. Because you know what? I guess that is right because
Chris, they released a trailer, and then 2 days later, they moved the fucking movie. It may not come out.
No. I'm trying to think that we do a mail. It was our last mailbag. I can't remember if that news, if that had happened before our last mailbag. I think
because it happened the night, because it was that night the trailer dropped.
You're right. So we didn't get to talk about that. So we really did miss it on the show. So yeah. So they dropped the trailer with the date on it, February, and then literally 12 hours later, we made a mistake. We're moving the movie until June. And so we're at New York Comic Con, and we go to the Fox Showcase, and I'm listening to Simon Kingberg talk and them trying to explain, not really explain because the moderator clearly wasn't going to ask them that question because they probably had the deal that says don't ask us a question about why the movie got moved. But they're using the excuse of, we wanted to make sure it was just right and all this other bullshit. And I'm like, none of that makes sense because it's February. The idea of, December was packed and this was coming out and you guys are putting a PG-13 Deadpool, which people have said that they don't like that idea. I'm like, that PG-13 Deadpool is probably going to be hilarious because they're going to probably include the idea that it's PG-13. It's going to be so self-aware. But you guys put a PG-13 Deadpool in December. And you're saying that it would be too close to your Dark Phoenix movie that comes out in February? So you had to move it to June?
Good thing we're avoiding Marvel, huh?
Yeah, what are you doing? That doesn't make any... What? Huh? What? What? And then, again, you see the article. I'll link to it. Article I wrote about this that kind of explains some of the things that happened there that didn't make any sense. Like the idea that, the X-Men are cheered and loved as they go to the space to rescue these astronauts. And they come home to, I shit you not, little kids holding a Nightcrawler doll and a Mystique doll. Saying, and scientists say, we love the X-Men.
They are hated and feared by a world they're sworn to protect. Or they're B-level superheroes who have plushies. One of the two. I can't remember.
Whatever. Mystique is blue when she goes out into the public to do this. But when she's home among her people, she looks like Jennifer Lawrence. She looks like human. Because...
Lawrence didn't wear that makeup.
Right. Exactly. That's what it is. Because... Hank is talking to Charles Xavier as Nicholas Hoult, looking like Nicholas Hoult in his human form. But then when it's time to go on the mission, he's got his fur on because for some reason he furred up to go on mission because I don't know what his fur does.
But seriously though, if Jennifer Lawrence is big enough to say, I don't want to put that fucking makeup on, why is Nicholas Hoult big enough to say it? I'm sorry. Who the fuck is Nicholas Hoult?
What's crazy? What's crazy is I actually like Nicholas Hoult as an actor, but you're absolutely right because it's like, what does he do? He doesn't do anything.
He's in the third one of these. This is the third one. He's got seniority. I just thought about it. I'm fine with it.
Actually, fourth one.
Fuck that then. He deserves the Purple Heart
because he was in First Class.
Congressional Medal of Honor. Wait, is that four then?
Yeah,
First Class, second one.
First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and now Dark Phoenix.
I keep forgetting Apocalypse. I never saw it. I honestly
good for you.
Erased it.
You know what? Here's the thing. Here's how you know here's how you know Apocalypse was bad. How many times have I actually told you I want to see you watch it so I can see you suffer? I've never said the T. Exactly. Because you know what? I know how much of an X-Men fan you are, and I don't want you to go through that. Because I went through that, and you shouldn't have to. Don't say I never did anything for you.
That one thing you've ever done.
Hey. Beggars can't be choosers.
That's it. I won't say never. We're at one.
Beggars can't be choosers. So, but yeah, no, it's just like it's, and again, the effects don't look good. It's ridiculous. And I don't like the idea that first of all, I don't like the idea that Simon Kinberg, who has been there almost since the beginning, fucking this shit up. is being treated like he's going to come in and do something different from what, Bryan Singer was doing, which I'm like, you've been there the entire time writing this shit. Also, I like the fact that he kept using grounded. It's grounded. We want to ground it. It's like, I don't understand. Like, this is one of those things that when I will say why don't you just do what Marvel does? Like, you don't need to be dark and gritty and super violent to show, you're serious, DC and WB.
You mean that's not what grounded means?
Right. And you also don't need to be, you don't need to do that to show seriousness, right? And you don't need to be grounded to enter into another genre of film. That's not what you need to do. Like, I don't understand why they have such hard times understanding this. And quite frankly, I also don't understand the people that fucking excuse this shit either. Because you know better. You know why Marvel Studio films are better, because they look like fucking comic book films. And they feel like comic books. They feel like the pages of your comic book come to life. Come on, folks. Anyway, let's see. Let's do the mailbag. Just over an hour. All right. So I'm doing something different for the poll list this time. So 2 things. 1, follow us on Instagram, the MTR Network, and let us know what's in your poll list. And I'll post some. I'll start promoting stuff on Instagram that way. I want to thank everybody on Instagram who has somehow found the Character Corner Instagram page. That literally has no posts, but we have 70 followers already. I have not posted a damn thing yet, but thank you guys for finding that. Matter of fact, that's where we're going to put the pull list stuff. Since we talk about comic books on the Character Corner, find the Character Corner Instagram page and let us know once we start putting the posts up what you're reading. I'll try to do that once a week during the month to let people, just so we can start some conversation about what we're watching, what we're reading. Each month. So that's character_corner on Instagram. And we'll put our pull list up there. So I'm just gonna kind of go through and Deepak will jump in because I know he'll have his own stuff too, and some of the stuff is the same. I'm gonna go through some of the bigger my I guess it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My top 6 that I've been reading because I've been reading a lot of stuff for a Character Corner. So and by a lot of stuff I mean I read over 130 issues of Ultimate Spider-Man.
It's very tiring.
It was very, very tiring. So, but here's my big thing, and we kind of already mentioned at the beginning of Thor. God damn you, Jason Aaron. First of all, we get Phoenix Wolverine versus All-Father Thor.
Yeah.
And you're like, how can we top that, right? How about...
he answers immediately.
Huh?
He answers that question immediately.
Immediately by topping it with a Phoenix Power All-Father Thor versus a God Doom that has the Iron Fist, Sorcerer Supreme, and the power of the Ghost Rider. Among other things.
And the Star Brand.
Like, I want to know where do we get... Like, doesn't even answer how he got all that shit. We just know at the end of time, it's God Doom versus, All-Father Thor. And they fight for 100 years. 99 years. It's fantastic. I fucking love this book. And then we finally find out what the worm that's been defeating Ego the Necroplanet, what it is. We now have Loki back. This is all in the future, by the way. Jason Aaron's a crazy person.
Yeah.
I love him to death. This Thor run is fucking amazing. Like,
every time I think it can't get bigger, it gets a little bit bigger and a little bit crazier. And he's telling you the end of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
And they're letting him do it.
Mm-hmm. The one thing I love about this is at one point when the Phoenix Power Wolverine is... I can't believe I'm saying the Phoenix Power Wolverine and the All-Father Thor are fighting against Doom. At one point, Thor's about to give up, and basically it's like, Gore is right. Again. And it's just I love how this is just one big story that Jason Aaron is telling, and has been telling since what, 2011?
2011, yeah.
Been telling for 7 fucking years, and it's fucking fantastic. Another book I'm reading, another one of my top books, Darth Vader. Did you ever want to know how Vader picked the design for his castle on Mustafar? You need to be reading the new Thor. I mean, the new I don't even want to say new at this point. It's not new. You need to be reading the Darth Vader book, yo. It's yes, Vader is terrifying. That's all that need to be said about that. Batman. I'm just gonna say fuck Tom King.
Yo, I don't know what's wrong with Tom King. That means a hug or some shit. Are you reading Heroes in Crisis?
I need to. I haven't. That's one of my books I want to. Yeah, that's one of the books I want to jump into. So I have not read that. But yeah, I need to jump in on that. But Tom King, like I'm mad because yeah, Tom King, fuck you. I love you, but fuck you.
Someone hug Tom King for real. Like,
yes.
I think Tom King.
He needs hugs. He needs hugs. Definitely needs hugs. Another hearty fuck you to Ta-Nehisi Coates. It's Captain America book.
Yo, bruh.
Fuck you. Son of a bitch. Like, how dare you? How fucking dare you? How dare you?
Just... Heard every criticism I've ever had about his comic writing, it was like, I got you, D-Palm. And for that, I say thank you.
How dare you? Just how dare you? This is outside of the big two. Uber Invasion. You guys might have heard us on a premium show with me and Rod talking about Uber Invasion. I've caught up on Uber Invasion, and we get some idea of some of that good racism. And I love this fucking book. Like, if you have not read Uber and then Uber Invasion after it, you need to be reading them. And that's the perfect time to do it because I mean, obviously the first set of Uber books is done, and we're kind of deep into Uber Invasion, so it's a great time to pick it up. So check that out. And then my last one, just in my top 6. And I'm not caught up on this book, but I did want to bring this up. The Amazing Spider-Man for Nick Spencer. And I'm bringing this up for one reason, and the biggest reason is this. The fact that we have not, at this point, gotten a Taskmaster and Black Ant book is a fucking travesty. Because those two characters...
You remember that he wrote Sinister Foes?
Bruh. These two characters are fucking... The conversation they have when they're getting interrogated by the person who's not from S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's just like... They're basically like talking past him. It's like, I miss S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. wouldn't have put us in a room with an outside wall where we could just get out of here. Like, we're leaving. We're done with this. I'm done talking to you. We're
not even mad. We're just insulted.
Right. We're just insulted. Like, like those two characters have been amazing, and I need them to have their own limited series or something because here's the thing. Because Taskmaster pops up in the Captain America book, and I was like, oh, he's not funny right now, though. So I'm kind of like, it's good, but I'm like, I kind of miss funny Taskmaster. Like, fed up Taskmaster.
This isn't my Taskmaster.
Right. Right. The Taskmaster's has been kind of fed up since, like, Secret Empire, yo.
Yo, I trained half these motherfuckers.
Before Secret Empire, he was in the Ant-Man book. I forgot that when he fought Scott Lang in the Ant-Man book after.
We'll back to Dark Reign, and he gets promoted to the big table of villains eventually. And at the end, he's very much like, fuck all of this. I wanted to make some money, train some bad guys. And since then, he's been very much like disaffected Taskmaster, like, can I please just have my check and go home?
Right.
This is not what I signed up for. I am here to do a job. The job is done. Pay this man his money.
So good. So, what books you got?
All right. So we mentioned earlier that I have a problem, and one of those problems is that I'm an X-Men fanatic. When I tell you that these X books are back, believe me.
I want to get Xtermination. I want to read that.
Xtermination's so good. Issue 5 came out today. I think it was 5 or 4, but latest issue dropped today on the 31st. It was brilliantly done. X-Men Red is Tom Taylor, and it's just great. I want to say I've shared an image each issue that's come out, but they're literally fighting weaponized bigotry and hatred. And Gene gave a speech in the last issue about how people like the villain, I'm not going to name, think that empathy makes you weak, but it makes you strong because it means I'm fighting for more than myself. I'm fighting for everyone around me, and it makes you more willing to fight and die. It's wonderful. It's people are like, oh, why does liberalism work? Why did the idea of caring for others work? Tom Taylor nailed it. and I really appreciate him doing that in the X-Men book. And I really appreciate him doing it in the X-Men book with Jean Grey as a mouthpiece. The Madrox miniseries recently ended today as well. Really well done. I'm a huge Madrox mark. I do believe that you're going to get hints for the big bad for Uncanny that's about the new series about to roll out. I think there's a really big hint for who it is in this Madrox series. So I think everyone should read that. You touched on Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer. It's I can't really get him Spider-Man.
I'm not gonna lie. Like at one point, you have Spider-Man. You have Peter Parker and Spider-Man split. You know, it's split into two characters, and you have it's him riding on. What kind of Sentinel was that? It was like a
Tri-Sentinel.
The Tri-Sentinel, and you literally have Spider-Man using Tri-Sentinels to stop crime, but like he's causing all this damage in the city. Like it's fucking ridiculous. Like it's so good.
It's so stupid. West Coast Avengers is amazing. West Coast Avengers is really good. Something else I love too. I can't think of the name of it. Oh, the Gambit, Mr. and Mrs. X. That book's really good. It's Gambit and Rogue. It's kind of covering their. So far, the series has covered their honeymoon in space, which involved Deadpool. So you should read that just because of that sentence I just said. DC wise, The Flash. I love The Flash. I gave up Nightwing. I normally don't talk about books I drop. I dropped Nightwing a couple weeks ago because of some of the decisions they're making with that character, and I just think that it's going nowhere fast on that end. I am excited for the newly announced DC imprint, bringing back Young Justice.
Yeah,
Tim Drake, Art Allen, Connor Kent, Cassie Sandsmark, and a cast of new and returning characters will be frontlining Young Justice there, including Jenny Hex, the great-granddaughter of Jonah Hex, who was recently introduced in the Batman 80-page Walmart Giant, written by, I believe it's probably Michael Bendis. And yeah, it's just been it's a really good time for comics. Transformers: The End of That Universe has been pushed back to November. You can catch me on the Transmissions podcast, their Alt Mode edition, episode 101, going live on November 2nd, talking about Unicron 5, the penultimate issue of The End of That Universe. What else am I thinking of here and forgetting that I am reading? That's really Justice League. Yeah, they gave Scott Snyder Justice League, guys. And there's a huge crossover coming, and I think they've already started it, called Drowned Earth, where, it's what it sounds like. The water levels have risen, and Atlantis, not really Atlantis, just say for the sake of lampshading what's actually happening, Atlantis versus the Surface World. That's not what's happening, but it's a good hook for you to get you to buy, and it makes Aquaman mad interesting.
Yeah, I need to catch up on those. I need to catch up on those books. Just something so people know and to keep this in mind. Because people always say, "Oh, they don't promote it right," because it's just not how they do comic book stuff. Remember, November's coming up, so it means I believe the Miles book and the Ironheart book should be getting the number ones coming out next month. Right. So by the time you listen to this, I want to say, don't make me a liar. I want to say I think the 14th is Ironheart, and I think the 21st is Miles. I just know they're both in November, so make sure you get your subscriptions in now. You can pre-order them on anywhere. You can go to your local comic book shop. You can probably pre-order them on Amazon. You can pre-order them on Comixology. Wherever you want to get them, you can pre-order them. They're definitely on there. Go to Midtown Comics and pre-order them there. You can definitely do that. So, but both of those books are coming out this month. So keep an eye open for them. So, anything else you got, man?
That's it for me. Just another good week of comic books and another good month. Let's hear what other people are reading.
Yeah. So, like I said, in our in the Facebook group, I put in I put in a quest, and so let me go through. Some people added some of their stuff that they've been reading this week. Let me see if I can say some stuff out. I got Gil mentioned Skyward is an Image comic living in the world where the Earth's gravity is suddenly gone. Main character is a woman of color, pretty interesting concepts and story. Somebody said, I know it's old, but Cameron says, I know it's old, but I've been catching up on all new Wolverine. Laura is the GOAT, X-Men Red, and Nick Spencer Spidey. Gil says also Spider-Geddon and the Return of Superior Spider-Man.
Spider-Geddon, I've actually really enjoyed. I've been reading the Return of Superior Spider-Man as well. It's a book that started off Superior Octopus, and I think the title changing early on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say if you liked Spider-Verse, Spider-Geddon is more of the same cross-dimensional Spider-Man, but this one's going to focus on Miles. And yeah, it's tied very intimately with what they did with Otto in Superior Spider-Man, so it's very good.
Yeah, Chris
and
says
to PS4 Spider-Man.
Yeah, there you go. Chris says post Shatter Grid, more than me. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comics have been great. I think we've talked about those before.
Post Shatter Grid, they've gotten away from the original team, and I am woefully under. I don't know anything about larger Rangers verse, so a lot of those Easter eggs were lost on me during Shatter Grid, and that these few issues I've been trying to keep up, but I don't have any connection to those characters and stuff.
Yeah. Anwar has Miss Marvel, all things Transformer related. Monstrous, I know Shannon Reed's Monstrous, Moon Girl, and Devil Dinosaur. Also, we have Skyward, another one for Skyward, so I'm going to have to check that out.
I can vouch.
You said what now?
Skyward's good. I can vouch for that.
All right, I'm going to check out Skyward now. Dr. Aphra, The Wicked and Divine, OG Runaway, so some of the things there. Let's see. Somebody saying Doomsday Clock. Like, I'm getting Doomsday Clock. I'm just waiting until it's done. We're on issue 7. It's supposed to be 12, and I'm like, it was supposed to be done like a year ago. So just call me when it's done. I'm buying them. I'll wait until they're done. I'll read them that way. I don't have time for this. Somebody also brought up Heroes in Crisis, The Flash, Fantastic Four. Oh, you know what? That's something I didn't bring. I can believe for Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm. And the Marvel 2 one where they're wrapping up that story, the issue today was revealing, it was basically reading Ben saying, why'd you let us think you were dead? Why'd you let us think the kids were dead? It's a conversation that needed to happen, and I'm glad they got to show it.
All right, so and a lot of other people. So again, we'll make sure that we put these on in the Facebook group. We'll also have to start the conversation on the Character Corner Instagram page every week, so you guys can just let us know and keep this conversation going. So I think that's all I got. So again, make sure you guys follow us and subscribe on Super Tuesday Recap. That's the only way you can get the mailbag episodes. If you want to join in on the conversation, again, follow us on Instagram. Go to Facebook page. Also, you can email us mailbag@mtrnetwork.net. Don't forget to check out our store, our shirt store at TeePublic. We are having they're having a sale right now through the holidays. You can go to tpublic.com/store/mtr-network. Also put the code in Tuesday at stitcher.com/premium. And you can get a free month of Stitcher Premium. That means you can listen to all the premium shows that Stitcher has without any ads, nonstop, and you get a free month. So just put the code in Tuesday for that. Anything else we got, man?
No, sir. Another great month, and make sure to get your emails in early and often for November. It's going to be a very busy holiday season. You know that we're going to get those big crossovers coming. A lot of opinions, a lot of year-end stunted comic books. So if you want to have your opinion heard, make sure you email us.
Yep. All right, folks. Thank you very much for listening. And until next time, we're out of here. Peace.